Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a what sold video, and it's going to be what sold for me on eBay because that's the only platform I had sales on for the week of May 1st to May 7th. And we're almost caught up on what sold videos, so I'm gonna scoot over here and let's get into eBay sales. So the first thing I'm gonna share with you on eBay is this sealed Europe, the final countdown vinyl. I came into an amazing lot of vinyl recently and I have not listed all of that yet, which is why you have not seen that video, and that is because as soon as I am listing any of the vinyl from this collection, it is selling. And because everyone but this one was used, I am going through them and play testing both sides to make sure there aren't any skips, and I've found a couple that had skips, so it's good that I'm doing this. But because this one was new sealed, I went ahead and listed it first, and it sold immediately for $39.35. So I paid $2.50 for this record. So amazing. I can't wait for you guys to see that video. You will see why the smile on my face is so big. I knew that vinyl was back in fashion. I didn't quite realize, like, I know that vinyl is back in vogue because, you know, Metallica actually decided to like invest in their own printing press, vinyl press again, due to the fact that they like sold almost 1 million records last year, which is insane if you think about it. Like, Metallica is investing in a vinyl press in 2023 because they sold over 1 million records. Especially with like the age of digital products, I just find that amazing. This is actually a dress I wore myself for quite a while before I decided to let it go in order to keep something else in my closet. This is a Bowden dress. You can see why I kept it, because it was green. It was cotton and it had some like teal flowers. I loved it. It was a great, very comfy dress, and it sold on offer for $19.50, and of course the buyer paid for shipping. This is something I picked up at the bins. This is Matco Tools. It had lots of condition issues because this is a workwear jacket. This is a jacket for someone who works with tools, so it had some condition issues. I just disclosed all of them, and it sold for $14, and the buyer paid padded flat rate for shipping. So I mean, I got this at the bins, so I paid probably $2 for it, so I'm really happy about that. This is another thing I picked up at the bins. I sold for $12.50. This is just a lightweight pair of swim trunks, so sold for $12.50. Probably paid $1 for this at the bins. This is something I picked up. I picked this one and another patchwork Vineyard Vines pair of shorts, but these were color blocked and patchwork. I didn't want to let either of these go for less than $20, so I just waited for the right buyer because this is very on trend right now. The first one sold almost immediately, and then this one took a little bit longer to sell, but sold for $23.90. I got so many lowball offers of like $5 to $10 on these shorts, and it was just like, as I mentioned before, if I'm getting a whole bunch of lowball offers on something, it will sell for full price or pretty close to what I'm wanting to get for it soon. It means it's really in demand. I just have to wait for that right buyer. This actually sold 5 times. I would accept offers on this towel, and then they would just not pay for it. So this time somebody bought it for the full asking price of $9.87. I actually got this for free from my friends Carolyn and Ernie. So Carolyn and Ernie, thank you very much. So this was 100% profit, and this was an international sale. So someone not only paid full price for an item that I accepted offers for that nobody paid for, but they also paid extra to have it shipped outside the United States, which is interesting to me. This is something I picked up for Thriftmas. This is Torrid x Her Universe. So this is a collaboration between Torrid, which is the plus size brand that we all know and love, and then Her Universe, which I personally know because they specialize in making very geeky clothing catered towards femme presenting people. And I love it. So this was a 4X, and it sold on an offer of $27. I knew that this would sell eventually, and I'm really glad that someone gets to feel like the Wonder Woman that they are when they wear this, which I think is awesome. So this is a built tee. I actually found 5 of these in the women's section at Diversity Thrift, and I scooped up all of them. I paid $2.75 per shirt. They all didn't sell for a lot, but they all sold very quickly. So, I mean, I picked them up in December. By May, they're all sold. This is the one I think that took the longest to sell, which I was very surprised by, but happy that it sold for $12, so I made really good profit from that. So this next item was actually a little bit of an ordeal. This was a 90s Nordic design cardigan. It sold for $31.90 and the buyer paid padded flat rate for shipping. I sent it out like I do because I do have 1-day turnaround with my shipping, and I got a message like the day after I had shipped it saying, hey, that's not my address. I'm like, I can't do anything about it. I've already shipped it. She was like, okay, well, it's actually for a Ren fair that I spend my summers at, so I'll just see what happens. It showed as delivered, and so I got another message saying, okay, it looks like it's delivered. I guess I will pick it back up this summer when I go to the Ren fair. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much for contacting me and letting me know what's up. Well, it was delivered, but not there. It actually was returned to sender to me because, again, it was a temporary thing. And I was like, hey, I have the sweater. It did get delivered, but it got delivered, returned to sender. So give me your address. I will make this right. She was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, no problem. We all make mistakes. No big deal. And so I sent it to her free of charge. And a lot of people would not do that, but I did it because, again, people make mistakes. She was super nice. Like, every interaction, she was just like, I'm so sorry. You know, even like, I could have just kept the sweater and been that person, and she would have never known. She probably, by the time she got to that point, would have forgotten about it. But that doesn't feel right to me. And like I said, if something similar happened, I would want somebody to do the same for me. So I'm very big on treat people the way you want to be treated. And so I sent it to her for free. And I paid $4.50 for this sweater. So even taking the cost out of paying the padded flat rate envelope shipping, I still made $20 on this, like $15 to $20 on this sweater. So I still made good profit off of it. Could I have made more off of it not doing that? Yeah, but she left me positive feedback, so it worked out in the end. This next item is a Chicos Traveler skirt. I pick up Chicos Travelers whenever I find it, if I can get it for $5 or less, because it just moves. It travels, like it says in the name, and it's awesome. So I am holding my phone in my hand, and I just moved my phone, and so she has moved as well. But I'm moving to MoxieCam with my phone for a second because her face was right here on my hand as I'm there you go. It was basically pretty much like this while I'm holding my phone reading stuff off. So I just wanted to show you, if you guys just see her tail, it is because this is what she's doing the whole video. And I'm talking about her, and so she's probably gonna leave now. You gonna leave, baby girl? This next item is a viewer sale. Stephanie purchased this for me because I said I would have kept it if it was in my size. This is a Sundance top and it's a size large. It was super cool. It was a Henley with like these really neat like puffy sleeves, and it was plaid and flannel and so cozy and just so cute. I still wish it was in my size because, again, I would have kept it. It's so cute. So I do hope, Stephanie, that you like it and that it will keep you warm and super cute looking when it gets cold again, because right now it is 96 degrees outside. But thank you so much. She purchased this from me full price for $29.87, pretty much as soon as I posted that video showing the item. So thank you very much, Stephanie. I do appreciate it. This next item is a Madewell top. I picked this up for Thriftmas in Gloucester. So I paid, I think, $3 for this there, and it sold for $10. I will pick up Madewell if I can get it for cheap because it does move for me if I mark it appropriately. Like, gone are the days where you could get, you know, $25 for a Madewell tee. At least for me. Maybe not for you. If those days are not gone yet for you, that's amazing, but they are for me. So happy to get $10 and to make a pretty quick flip out of that. I've talked about how much I love buying and selling Restaurantware. This is Shinego China. I couldn't get the exact pattern name, so I just described it as best I could here. I paid 79 cents for each of these, and they sold for $11.90. Of course, the buyer had to pay for shipping. So always happy to save some pieces of American pottery from getting smashed and trashed. And I'm also really happy to make a profit at the same time. From that same Gloucester thrift trip, I also pick up this Lacoste. In that video, I showed you the difference between real Lacoste and fake Lacoste because there was a real Lacoste next to a fake Lacoste polo shirt, so I could show you that very easily. It sold for $13. I paid $3 for this as well at that Goodwill. Really happy about that. I will say that the men's Lacoste polo shirts I can normally get around $20 for. Women's, not so much, unless it's like the full-length polo dress. Those are nice. You all know how much I love buying and selling vintage. I saw this gorgeous piece of crewel from the 60s when I did Thriftmas, and I went to the thrift store in Poquoson. That is where I picked this up at, and I was $4. Absolutely, sign me up. I will pay that all day long. So I paid $4 for this piece, sold for $34, and this didn't have anything to hang it off. Like if you see in the picture, I'm using a regular pants hanger to hang it up. I don't know if they got it framed or if they just used a pants hanger like I did, but this did not have a way to hang it, and somebody still paid $34 for it because it was amazing looking. Like someone spent time making this and it was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm so glad it went off to a new home. This is a Woolrich piece. I paid $4.50 for this at the thrift store. It sold for $10.50. This I probably pick up again, but I would not pick it up at a traditional thrift store unless the pattern was much better and the colors were much more vibrant. But this is a men's piece and it was a size medium. This next item is another thing I picked up for Thriftmas at the Goodwill near the boys' house. I paid $7 for this dress. It is Kate Spade Saturday, which is a lower line of Kate Spade. And it was a size 0 jumper, and it still sold for $19.60, and I was really happy about that. This was a heavy, like kind of heavy canvas, so it did have to go on a padded flat rate, but even size 0 will sell, and I pick up all sizes because all people need clothing. You guys know how much I love buying and selling vintage books, and this is a first edition copy of Clive Barker's Weave World from 1987. And the reason why I was able to pick this up is because I got this in Gloucester. I love actually going to the Gloucester Dav to pick up books because there doesn't seem to be that many Amazon FBA sellers there. And even if an Amazon FBA seller scanned this, they probably would have passed on it because it would have just come up as Clive Barker's like Weave World. The reason why this is worth this much money is because it's a first edition. And Amazon FBA sellers don't necessarily check to see if it's a first edition or if it's a variation cover, and so they will pass by stuff. So this is worth $23.90, and I paid $2 for this at that Dav. So amazing sale. This is a vintage piece. I've talked about before that I do have a buyer that buys a lot of vintage from me. So I don't know if they have their own vintage shop down there or if they are just like me, a lover of vintage and wear it a lot themselves. This vintage ship and shore piece had a detachable blue little dickie on the front and sold for $15.90, and I love that. They can buy from me all day long. This is a pair of AFCO shorts. This is the longest pair of AFCO shorts have ever sat with me, and I don't know why. These had Hula Girls and Marlins on them. AFCO means American Fishing Tackle Company, I think. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But it sold for $15.90, and I paid $4 for this at a thrift store. But again, super surprised that I had this for as long as I did because AFCO normally moves very quickly for me. And this last item was free to me. This is also from Carolyn and Ernie. This is a Kids Dare hat. I rarely buy and sell kids stuff because it's slow to sell unless it's a vintage piece. I remember Dare from being a kid, and so I had a little bit nostalgia, and so I went ahead and listed this. It sold for $3.90, and the buyer paid for shipping, and I'm glad that Carolyn already gifted this to me, so thank you again. And I'm super happy that a little piece of nostalgia for me, and probably also for them, did not get thrown away. But that is everything that sold. Again, I'm trying to catch up my what solds. I'm almost there, so once I get caught up, you won't be seeing what solds every other video. But I do appreciate those of you watching, and hopefully your sales are awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye! Bye. Hero, hero. Hero, hero. I wanna be a hero, hero. Oh, the hero.